This is the Focus Shift podcast, your best listening experience for creating your best online business. We'll focus on topics that help you get discovered. So sit back, listen, take notes if you like, and get excited about growing your business.
Okay, so if you're still relying on link exchanges, maybe paying for guest posts, or, and I know you're out there, blasting out the same tired outreach emails you were using 5 years ago, I have some genuinely bad news.
You really do.
You're not just wasting time and resources, you are actively, and I mean actively, harming your long-term visibility.
That's absolutely correct.
Right.
We have to just acknowledge that the fundamental rules have changed. I mean, we are long past the era where link building was, this mechanical transactional thing.
Exactly. It's a simple calculation.
Yeah, search engines have evolved way beyond that.
And today, success depends entirely on genuine relationships, on earned publicity. It's not about just, getting links anymore. It's about proving you have sustainable trust within your network.
And that trust, that's the core of it. That is the signal that Google's machine learning systems are using to assess your sites. Well, what they call EEAT.
Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust.
Right, and that framework is basically the ultimate gatekeeper, and your backlink profile is one of the clearest signals it looks at.
So our mission today is to really unpack how Google's algorithms and also these new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Google's AI overviews, how they actually evaluate authority. We want to find the practical steps you can take right now to stop chasing volume and just start building that real trust.
We're going to be looking at why contextual credibility, what's around the link, matters so much more than just the exact match anchor text ever did. And we really need to redefine what metrics matter when AI is the new gatekeeper.
And it's looking at everything.
Everything. Follow links, no follow, even image links.
Okay, and here's a powerful insight we're going to explore that I think really defines this new era. We're going to show you why a simple unlinked mention of your brand can sometimes be just as influential as a direct link.
That shift right there, from link acquisition to brand recognition, that is the next chapter of SEO.
Let's start with the immediate danger zone then, because the source material is crystal clear on this. Manipulative tactics don't just get ignored anymore, they get penalized.
Oh, they absolutely lead to instability. Over the last few years, Google's link spam updates have gotten remarkably good at identifying these patterns.
So things like purchase links, reciprocal schemes.
Exactly. Those and links from those low-quality guest post networks are often identified with near-perfect accuracy now.
I think a lot of people still assume Google just, doesn't count the bad links, but you're talking about actual manual action penalties, right?
We are. Sites that rely on these tactics, they just face constant volatility, ranking instability, and yes, the very real threat of manual penalties. It's a net loss. You spend months trying to disavow the very links you paid good money for.
And the sources break down how easily these tactics leave what they call digital fingerprints. So what are the algorithms actually keying in on?
It's all about clusters of unnatural signals. So think about a sudden spike in links that all use the exact same optimized anchor text.
Unnatural anchor text clustering.
That's the one. Or links coming from totally irrelevant domains like a cooking blog linking to accounting software. It just doesn't make sense. And they also analyze suspicious timing, like getting 50 links over a single weekend.
Which would be almost impossible to do organically.
Precisely. And this is where that new layer of AI comes in. We're talking about the large language models, LLMs, that are now underpinning search.
So how does an LLM evaluate a link differently than, say, the old PageRank system?
Well, the old system was mostly about the technical link equity, right? The flow of authority through the HTML tag. LLMs, on the other hand, are trained to understand human language and trust. They look at the text surrounding the link, the topic of the whole article.
So it's less about the tag itself and more about whether it reads like a genuine editorial endorsement.
That's it, exactly. It's about context.
And that brings us back to the power of that unlinked mention you brought up.
Absolutely. Because when your brand is consistently discussed and cited by peers in high-authority content, even without a technical link, that signals real-world trust. AI systems use this whole spectrum of data to understand your place in the what's called the entity graph.
Which is much more robust than just the old link graph.
Far more. You're being judged by the company you keep, not just the links you buy.
Okay, let's unpack this. If we stop focusing on transactional schemes, how do we actually get the most powerful links today?
The answer is really foundational. It's relationships. The best, most resilient links come from people who already know you, trust you, and value your work.
Because you've provided them value first.
Yes, we're talking genuine collaborators, happy customers, community members, media contacts.
And these organic mentions look totally different from a paid placement, right? Because they come from a real interaction.
Certainly. It could be a journalist you helped by giving a quick quote for their article. That's a service, not a transaction.
Or a podcast host you collaborated with who then links to your resources in their show notes.
Exactly, because you made their content better. Or it could be a really high-profile customer who writes a case study that other industry publications just naturally pick up and reference.
That feels so much more sustainable. And sources talk about a compounding effect of these trust networks.
Yes, the compounding effect is the whole game here. One strong relationship can open the door to dozens of other organic opportunities. When a respected publication cites you, their network notices.
It's like a flywheel effect. Authority just builds on itself.
Which is precisely what Google's EEAT measurement is designed to reward.
And this is why that contextual credibility is now so much more important than the anchor text itself.
It is. Modern AI systems are not fooled by spammy, optimized anchor text. They analyze the whole context, the page topic, the source's authority, the language around the link, and how your brand fits into that whole conversation.
So it's not about jamming in the phrase best enterprise software. It's about showing up on pages that naturally discuss enterprise software, where the surrounding text confirms you're an expert.
You've got it. And the data really backs this up. We saw a SEMrush study that found domains with higher authority scores showed a really strong correlation with mentions in AI-generated answers.
Wow. That's the ultimate proof of concept right there. So a high-quality relationship-driven backlink profile doesn't just help you in standard search.
It positions you directly for visibility in new formats like Google's AI overviews. You're building true entity recognition, strengthening EAT signals, and crucially, generating high-quality referral traffic from people who are actually engaged.
Okay, so let's pivot from the why to the how. The core change is we have to stop viewing links as assets to acquire and start seeing them as the natural byproduct of creating value. How do we actually do that?
Well, the old playbook of cold outreach, just asking for a link, it's just exhausted. The modern approach requires you to position yourself as a helpful expert who has something valuable to offer before you ever ask for anything.
That's playing the long game. Provide value first. Be the expert who responds quickly to journalists. Be helpful in forums without expecting a link back.
And that long game requires creating assets that actually demand to be cited. What guarantees links? Original research and compelling stories that no one else can replicate.
Let's break that down. What does a linkable asset look like in this new world?
Think about proprietary data. This could be from surveying your customer base, analyzing industry data no one's seen, or creating a unique index. Something like a State of Small Business Hiring Index for 2024.
Publishers need that data to make their stories better. The link becomes a necessity, not a favor.
And these kinds of assets position you perfectly for AI search. LLMs often synthesize and cite content with unique data, giving you visibility right inside those AI-generated responses.
And beyond data, what about visuals?
Oh, visual content performs exceptionally well. Things like charts, infographics, data diagrams. They attract citations because they make complex ideas easy to digest.
What's the specific AI advantage for visual content?
So get this. We found that image-based backlinks can perform just as well as, and sometimes even better than, text links in AI search. This is because structured visual data is easily consumed by AI and often shows up directly in visual results. You just have to make it easy for publishers by creating embed codes for them.
Now let's talk about what the sources called the most effective tactic of all. Digital PR.
Yes. Digital PR is the ultimate expression of this whole philosophy. It's focused entirely on earning genuine editorial coverage based on merit. And the data is overwhelming. A recent survey found almost half, 48.6%, of respondents identified digital PR as the single most effective tactic.
So practically, how do you do digital PR?
You leverage tools like QAudit or HARO to connect with journalists who are already working on stories where you have expertise. And you also need to use newsjacking, inserting your brand's perspective into a trending topic or trend commentary. You're giving journalists what they need right when they need it.
Okay, so given this massive shift, just counting backlinks or looking at domain authority is completely inadequate. We need new KPIs.
We absolutely do. Our metrics have to reflect real authority and influence in this new AI-driven landscape.
Let's start with brand mentions. You're saying they're just as important as links now.
They truly are. When authoritative sources mention your brand name, even without a link, You're building awareness that influences both people and AI systems.
Yeah.
You have to track these unlinked mentions with tools like Google Alerts.
And what about nofollow links? For years, everyone said they had no SEO value.
That view is totally outdated. The data confirms that nofollow links have nearly the same impact on AI visibility as follow links. An LLM sees that tag as confirmation of your relevance, so you have to track both.
And then there's the most practical measure of all, referral traffic.
Absolutely essential. A link is only truly valuable if it sends you qualified visitors who actually stick around, explore your site, and maybe even convert. You have to monitor which relationships send you the best traffic.
And what about tools for finding the right people to build these relationships with?
For finding out where your audience is, tools like SparkToro are invaluable. For connecting with specific editors, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is great, and the data shows link builders using social media for outreach to build rapport before the pitch actually built 22% more links.
So we need to stop tracking links as one-off wins and start tracking the depth of the relationship itself.
Correct. You should be tracking this in a simple CRM or even a spreadsheet. The goal is relationships that generate multiple links over time. That signals a true partnership.
In One Reporting to Leadership, we need to talk about share of voice, or this idea of an AI visibility index.
It's the ultimate future-proofing metric. It shows how much of the overall conversation your brand is capturing compared to competitors. This directly influences whether you get cited in an AI response. And what's fascinating is that the data showed fewer than a quarter of the most mentioned brands were also the most cited by authoritative sources.
So you need true authority, not just awareness. And the ROI conversation has to change. It's not, we built 50 backlinks.
No, it's our thought leadership strategy secured placements in 3 industry-leading publications, which drove 2,400 qualified visitors and positioned us as the go-to source in the emerging AI landscape.
From volume to measurable outcomes.
That's how you prove the lasting value.
This has been a true deep dive. It feels like the boundaries between SEO, PR, and content marketing are just completely dissolving. Tomorrow's strategy requires media savvy, great storytelling, and technical SEO all blended together.
You're building visibility through earned contributions, not transactions. When you create undeniable value, you earn authority through a trust network that's easy for both humans and machines to recognize.
So what does this all mean? It means the future is shaped by how AI evaluates your authority through context, credibility, and consistency. Reputation and relationships are everything.
So if the best links really do come from real partnerships and creating value, how will you start prioritizing the building of a deep trust network, the kind that algorithms can't manipulate and your competitors can't easily replicate in your strategy moving forward? That is the real competitive advantage today.
The Focus Shift podcast is presented by PhotoBiz, the best website solution for photographers. Whether you're launching your site or scaling your online business, PhotoBiz has your back. To get started for free, visit photobiz.com today.